Joining us for what promises to be a very engaging conversation is a broadcaster and social worker in the person of Emmanuel Gabari. Welcome to Rubbing Minds.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here.
Glad you accepted our invitation. And seated next to him is lawyer and policy consultant Timi Olagunju. Welcome to Rubbing Minds.
Thank you for having us, Isabel.
So, Emmanuel, I'd like you to weigh in.
Yes, if you also study the political terrain, you realize, like you said, the Emilio syndrome and all of that. We have a three-stooled scenario, so to say. But if you have also followed closely, you will find that it's obviously just the take a bow thing that happens when it comes to elections, especially with the ruling party. It happened in PDP, and it's no news, so to say, in the APC. Even when we leave from the presidential angle, even into the states, we've seen how state machineries have always used their political weight, the power weight, the money and all of that to instill it. So it's always like they say, oh, okay, let's leave it. And maybe we've even had instances, even after the elections of last year, where people just said, okay, you know what, oppositions, just wait till 2031. It might come as a derogatory thing, but for people who have also studied and followed elections and seen that sometimes it's not even about what you do anymore, it's how you are able to wield power, how you have enough money, enough resources in your hands. Also knowing that Nigeria is still playing the game of money politics, Your friend might be in one party today and they swing where the money leads, and they tell you who political whatever helped, and they are using the poverty issue to also tie it down. So when they know they have more money, they could go to sleep and say, of course, we have what it takes to get what you want. It's like a lady who wants to go shopping. Once you know a night before you're shopping that, of course, you have some money in your credit card, you feel relaxed. Even when you get to the shop, it has increased. You know you have enough to take care of it.
No. Like, what I get from the two of you is a sense of political apathy, right? Nigerians have questions. Nigerians want to judge this administration based on the realities, whether it's economically, politically, socially. But again, there's that sense from Nigerians that, okay, if I go and cast my vote, am I safe? We did see pockets of violence. If I go and cast my vote, is it going to really count? I'd like to come back to the issue of the opposition, right? We've been talking about this three-legged stool, three-party, three-horse race. And if you look at the Labour Party, they went in quite strong, they did well, and they actually won some seats. But over time, we've seen some cross-carpeting, some, jumping across party lines. What message does that send to the electorate when it comes to voting for an opposition party that is not one of the two parties?
So it still boils down to saying there's a whole lot of work to be done when it comes to opposition. I think where they missed it also is not realizing the big elephant in the room. I mean, when you know your strength and you know your weakness and you know who you're fighting against, you will, it's not about faith now, you will recognize and want to get more warriors to join you in your fight. I think that's one of the I wouldn't say mistake, because every party might have their structures or their beliefs and all of that. But when you know you are working with a ruling party already that has finance to their advantage, that has and still is having more seats to their advantage, that has the authority, the institutions, so to say, that they may sound independent but not look independent, and it could sway at any time. The best you could have done is to get more force. You don't fight a Goliath claiming you are a David, because it doesn't happen in the forefront, in the war front. And so I'm also wishing that they could leverage on that, because come to think of it as well, during the Jonathan crossover to Buhari time and all of that, while that could hold ground was, they realized as well that PDP was really, really tough. And so what can we do? They went back, brought in other parties, so the votes will not be scattered. I think what LP didn't realize is to also say, let's get other people to us, because PDP was already a stronghold, LP was doing theirs, and APC will just sit down and laugh because the votes were already watered. At some point, people were saying, okay, why don't we do a merger? Both parties come together, find your VP, get this, just to strategize and build more force. But I think maybe selfishness came into it and all of that. But they should have also known that they are fighting with a big party already existing. And then another point that we are also not realizing is from the party primaries. These things come from the party primaries. And even when we talk about vote buying and all of that, it started there because good candidates who may not have the money power are automatically already removed from the race, because the party also, even from experience and all the times we've analyzed, the party will always tilt towards bringing their candidate who has also watered grounds and all of that. And so that also brings the issue of, even when someone is good, it's not enough. Even when you have ideologies of good things for the country, it's not enough, because even from your party, you could just be disenfranchised because you don't have that party will. So finance still plays a long role. People only are looking at the grassroots money politics of having 5,000 naira and go away. What about the party where good candidates that would have restored Nigeria into its rightful place, they are missed out because they don't have money?
I'm glad you brought that point up, because when Nigerians go to the polls, they are left to choose from who the primaries have produced as candidates. So if you're looking to maybe vote for a woman, for example, if you don't have a female candidate, you cannot vote. So Emmanuel, there's a lot that's been said about what government should be doing, what this administration should be doing, what INEC should be doing. But the question is, what should the population be doing? What should the electorate be doing? How can they begin to use their electoral power now in 2027, I beg your pardon, in 2025 against 2027 elections? Is it just about registering for your PVC, or can more be done to ensure that we have higher numbers at the polls, higher numbers even at the primaries, for example?
Sadly, I think the electorate still don't realize the strong power that they wield, so to say. You still hear issues where who go win. You still hear issues where I believe politics now for the big people and all of that. How often have electorates realized that they could call back, their representatives when issues like this happen? I know it's a bit cumbersome, of course, a legal person is here. I know it's a bit cumbersome to do, but have they tried? That's another thing. And when we also say, I think the yardstick to check whether a leader is doing well or not is also being compromised by the electorate. Because sometimes when I go to the field and I ask, so how do you even know a politician or a leader who has performed well with a scorecard? Is it the one who has been able to share grinding machine or give Okada to the youth? Or is it the one who have been able to bring infrastructure, long-term benefits, make sure that it's been industrialized, make sure that there are organizations or things, development in the state? Because you find the electorate just being comfortable with peanuts, come in and you find some of them come and tell the politician, oh, my daughter is wedding next week, oh, we don't have food at home, and all of that. And for the politicians who are not able to do these things, they might be termed from the electorate side that they are not working, and they are not also looking at, are you holding these politicians accountable to say, after 4 years, can we come back to the constituency and see that there are good roads, there are market squares, there are hospitals that are working, our children's life have been improved? Because these are two things that even when you talk with the politicians, they will tell you, we got elected by them. These are the things they say they want.
So there's that responsibility of the people to hold the leaders accountable. Thank you very much, Timi Olagunju and Emmanuel Gabari. That's all we can take on this segment.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
We'll go.